Hey everyone, thanks for joining us. The next episode of Red Valkyrie is about to start. Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Red Valkyrie. Let me move my mic over. What the fuck am I doing with my life? I am your host, Shae Zombie, and I am here with the super awesome, very talented Andy from
Hi, how's it
Osaka
going?
Mime. How are you, Andy?
Good, yeah. Having a good day.
Fan-fucking-tastic. That is awesome.
Absolutely.
So I'm sure everyone's very horrified right now. I'm probably not. They're probably like, wow, she's an idiot. Anyway, so I am attempting to show what happens when a mime from Osaka Mime first kills you and takes you over. And to really kind of help illustrate that, I'm just going to kick it straight over to Andy so he can start talking about his awesome comics. So how about you give us your elevator pitch?
Yeah, so Osaka Mime is a horror fantasy comic that's based in Osaka, but in a fictional world where orcs and elves and goblins all grew up and stopped using swords and got jobs and just lived a normal life like humans. But as with fantasy, all the monsters came with it. So werewolves and kind of old type vampires, and the mimes, who was the titular villain in the piece. Mimes, as you can see in the picture, they're shadowy figures, but they can eat you, and if they kill you and eat you, they can take your form, and they can keep your form until they are either forced out of it by morphing their hands into weapons, or by, if they get attacked, they can be forced out of it. But other than that, they're kind of going to stay in your form until they eat someone else or are forced out. So yeah, your best friend could be a mime, and you wouldn't know if they were a good enough actor.
That is super, super creepy. So I love this intro. If you guys haven't checked this out, you really need to go to the Kickstarter page and check it out for sure, because basically, I'm assuming these guys are on a date.
Yeah,
Like, had a little
they're
date
coming
night.
back from a date.
Right. So he's over here doing what every guy does on a date and goes and pees in an alleyway, because that's how you impress your lady, really.
Absolutely.
Um, which just, and I love the fact that everything's in black and white, but you made sure you could tell that he is peeing.
That was good work by the artist.
Very good. You have a very good artist. He's very good at making sure that people are aware of everything that is happening in the scene. But yeah, this panel right here is like the most gnarly fucking thing ever. It looks so cool. And then seeing the shape shift and seeing this, like the way the tongue is and everything is it's just so fucked up. I love it. This
Yeah,
looks so cool.
yeah. Hugo knows he must be a pretty fucked up guy, because my script didn't say to do the big lick, but he threw it in, and I was blown away when he sent me the page originally, because I was like, that's a perfect ad. The same with the
Right.
mime. The mime was supposed to be on its knees, kind of just eating, but he decided to give it its weird like limbs, make it more monstrous.
Oh gosh, and like those hips, dude.
Yeah,
He's
it's
those are
brilliant. Like,
dislocated.
yeah,
Those are
pretty
not going
much.
this. Oh, I love this though. It's it's really kind of the epitome of horror. It really reminds me of I've seen very, very little, so I'm not even going to try and claim to be a expert or anything, but Junji Ito.
Yeah,
And oh, it's so
um, my friend's obsessed with Junji Ito. I've actually never read Junji Ito, but I've seen a lot of reference photos, because my friend has a tattoo on his arm of one of them. So
oh my gosh. Well, and honestly, if you're into horror, which I'm assuming you are if you're writing horror books,
yeah,
if you are into horror, um I would start with Junji Ito short stories, because they're just little snippets of hell and they're just creepy enough, and they actually have an anime that, like, they went through anime style and made some of them, and they're just the most disturbing things I think I've ever seen.
yeah. The pictures I've seen of his art is absolutely insane. Just really creepy, and he's like the nicest looking man in the world as well. He just looks like some old guy. So I think that's what makes it even funnier, that he's like this really,
Absolutely.
this really wholesome person, but he just gets really messed up when he has to.
Yeah, oh gosh. And this is so, like, I love how you wrote this kind of dynamic between this young, like, greenhorn, whatever, thinking he's all big and bad and like by the book kind of shit, and this grizzled old like fuck the
Yeah,
rule book, nothing matters anymore.
yeah, he's seen a lot of weird stuff, so
Yeah.
not even gonna
Oh
not even gonna wear a blazer.
no. Yeah. He's just like, nah, fuck it. It's fine. Um, yeah, and you do a really good job of like building this world in these first couple of pages that you get to see. You do a really good job of building the world and kind of showing us just how messed up this is.
Yeah, no, thanks. I just had to get like some sort of criminals out there. I did want to make the criminal was originally a human, but I was like, I'll put an elf and a goblin to make it more to let people know what the world is like more. So just try to keep the
Yeah.
humans off it for a while.
Well, and it because of the way that you kind of introduce that there are these other creatures, because up until besides like the mime,
Yeah,
through these first few pages, they're all just people. You just
yeah,
see
exactly.
regular humans.
So I felt I had to get two. So I was like, I'll make the elf a cop and I'll make the criminal be a goblin.
Well, and the funny thing is, you see that right there, and you just get the tiniest bit of hint,
Yeah,
and then when you start coming down a little bit more, and you see her, right? She
yeah,
is what really got me because it's like, oh shit, is that a troll? Did I just see a troll? And sure enough, yes, absolutely, you did just see a troll. Um, but they or an ogre, is that what she is? I can't remember.
she's a orc.
Orc.
Yeah,
See, the text is too small here. I got the pages a little bit bigger on my phone, but
yeah.
just seeing the fact that it's just normal, and the people that are at the bar and the people that are around, it's just normal. You didn't have to draw it out and make it some big thing.
Yeah, I just needed to make it seem kind of natural that the world is like this. Like they wouldn't make a deal about it because they live in this world.
Right.
So there's no point. Just kind of, show it to the reader and let them kind of work it
Right.
out for themselves.
Absolutely. This was another really good panel. If you're reading through this, basically they're having an interaction and she somehow forgets his order that he's had like every other day or something like that, and then starts talking about this trip, and then out of nowhere he just pulls out a gun and blasts her straight in the head, and freaks everybody out, only to find out that she's actually a mime.
Yeah,
Because
that's
I
chiseled
mean,
veteran.
I was gonna say he says that the mimes are all shit actors, and that's how you know.
Yeah, pretty much. Like if you know somebody, they're not going to be able to be someone else.
Right. It's not like
Is
they don't absorb like memories; they just can take a physical form.
Yeah, that's it. You can't get somebody's memories, so they can do their best to be the person, but unless they just leave and surround themselves with people that don't know the original person, they're going to get worked out eventually.
Yeah. See, this is what I like about your artist, and I also hate, and I never want to meet him in like a back alley. Um, he's really good at taking stuff that's kind of normal. Because if you look at this, it's like, yeah, that's pretty disturbing. The more you look at it, you realize that this right here is the back of a hand.
Yeah, it's
But
creepy as
then
hell.
her,
Like,
her fingers are twisted the other way around and clawing in, but from the back.
yeah, and the head's just twisted the other way around. It's very strange.
Well, and her entire head is a mouth.
Yeah. Oh,
Like,
that's
her whole head is a damn mouth. This is so disturbing, and I love it so much. It's yeah. Oh gosh, those are intestines.
yeah. That
Um,
was one of the originals. I thought we wouldn't be able to use that as a cover. Shops probably wouldn't put that on their front cover. Just guts out on the street.
I
But
think it
yeah,
depends on what shop you talk about, because
yeah,
I feel like I've seen that on the cover of something before.
yeah. You probably got away with it in some spots, but
Oh, and him just going straight through. Gosh, it's just so fucked up. The way that they kill, because it's brutal. It's not. There's no finesse.
yeah, they don't really have any care for humans, or anybody really.
Oh wow, this is really really cool. Oh, okay. So, oh, you have shirts. You have no idea. Sorry, this happens every time. I didn't. I apparently did not scroll far enough. I didn't know you had shirts.
Yeah, I didn't know I had shirts either, but the publisher was running the Kickstarter and they have
Okay.
the tiers set out. So I was like, cool, shirts. I actually haven't asked them, am I getting shirts sent to me? So maybe I should ask them that. Am I having a free shirt?
I feel
I
like you
feel like I'll
all
get one.
should have at least one. Oh, and there's Andy. Oh my goodness. So this looks really cool. Who is this for? Not for children. That's actually something we were talking
Yeah.
about offline. Do not let your kids read this book. Come on now, be a good parent.
You can get it to them for a gift, but don't give it to them until they're, at least 16.
So one thing I wanted to kind of address right off the bat. So you are the writer.
That's true. Yeah, they're right.
You are the writer. You have Hugo, who
Yes.
is your artist.
Yep. He is the penciler and the inker.
Fantastic. Who is the colorist? Is that Rob?
No, Rob is the letterer.
The
So
letterer. Okay, so
yeah,
who's doing your colors?
we actually don't have colors at the moment. We're just
Oh,
doing
that's
black
right.
and
You
white.
don't.
Yeah, I think one of
You
there's a
just
stretch goal possibility that color
okay.
could be used, but I don't know if that's set in stone. The cover color was done by Hugo as well.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
That's where I was getting confused. Fantastic. So, and one thing that you had mentioned was that you guys have a publisher. So let's get
Yes.
a little bit into that because normally what we end up covering on Red Valkyrie are people that are crowdfunding on their own.
Yeah,
Um,
I had
and
no idea how to run a crowdfunding campaign, so I kind of needed a publisher just for that situation alone
all
because I
right.
am terrible at doing these things.
Right. I totally understand. You know what? You can't be everything. You can't be
Yeah.
the writer and you can't do it all. Like that's why
Some
there's
people
teams that
can,
do this.
and I have a lot of respect for people that can.
Some people can, some people think they can and then find out they can't. Some people, there's a lot that goes into it. But so let's just kind of talk a little bit about your publisher. So who is your publisher right now?
Behemoth Comics or Behemoth Comics, whatever way
Behemoth
you.
Comics.
Yeah.
Okay, so Behemoth Comics is your publisher, and what exactly is their role, kind of with everything that you got going on with this?
So yeah, they run the Kickstarter behind the project, and they also will be getting it out to people. So they have a exclusive contract with Diamond Distributors. So they're
Oh
going to
wow.
so they use that to get some of the physical copies into stores. And then,
Okay.
of course, they're going to get the digital copies out on stores as well. They're going to do all the marketing and all the stuff that I just wouldn't have any clue how to do. So they're going to
All
do
right.
the kind of business part.
So
So
basically, they're your business managers. What
yeah,
you're saying?
basically they're my business managers for it, and they're going to get it out there and push it with the people that they know. So yeah, they've been very helpful. They've been great in giving me advice and just helping get the project forward. Because, as I said, I wouldn't know how to do any of this stuff,
Mhm.
and I also wouldn't have the time with a job and with writing then as well. So it's great to have them.
So, do they own the IP, or is that still with you?
No, it's a creator-owned project, so they're an indie publisher. So I keep all the rights, and they will just have they just have the publishing rights, and I think they keep it for a certain amount of time, and maybe they'll suggest writing another one. Who knows?
It'd be really great if we had more that we could
Yeah.
push. This is already making us money, and if you could just give us some more of that.
A little bit more, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so how many issues are you planning on doing? Because I got to imagine you just based off of what I've seen on these couple of pages, this cannot be a one and done. Like it feels like
It's
it's a pretty big world.
yeah, so it's at the moment it's just a standalone graphic novel to get out there, but I do have plans for at least maybe 3 other stories in the universe. They wouldn't be with these characters, they would be with different characters. But yeah, I have plans for that, so it would just depend on the popularity and how well it does. I'm already writing a script for another project that's not mime related, but I do have ideas put away for at least 3 mime stories. So at the moment, it's just a standalone, but as you can see, it's whatever the buyers want, whatever the customers want. If they want more stories, then we'd push more.
Fantastic. And so Another question that I know that you and I talked about a little bit off air, but I know most of my viewers, and I know one of their big things is they're not a huge fan of Kickstarter, and so
Yeah.
we were talking about Indiegogo, and if there was ever possibility of you trying to go through Indiegogo, and of course that's something you would have to work out with your publishers. They're kind of your business managers, correct?
Yeah. Uh, yeah, I don't mind. Like, crowdfunding's crowdfunding to me. And they both have their advantages, they both have their disadvantages. I've only got the experience with Kickstarter, but it seems to be what behemoth like using is Kickstarter. But again, if it was a thing that people were pushing for it to be on Indiegogo, then there'd be no issue with using it. For me, it's just a way to find fans and to get donations towards it. I
Fantastic.
don't really have a loyalty to either website. They're just websites.
Right. Okay. So basically, if you're out there and you refuse to back anything on Kickstarter because of whatever reason, and I'm not getting into any of those because there's numerous on both sides. If you are not a Kickstarter fan and you want to see this on Indiegogo, be vocal about it. Otherwise, it's never coming to Indiegogo. Make sure that you let Andy know, because it would be a real shame for a lot of people to miss out on this purely because of some politics and some annoying stuff that goes on between the channels. Because it seems like a good story, and the test pages that you have up here, they're very natural. Like the conversations to me, a little cliche, but like in the best
Yeah.
way cliche. Like they feel supernatural. They feel really, really fun and entertaining. Um, and I mean, Shae Zombie, like I love horror. Horror is amazing.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of the horror genre.
Nice. Oh, I need to get you in touch with Crystal McGee. You guys will have a blast. She's all about the horror too. Okay, so before we get into any more, and if we have anybody who's watching, please start thinking of questions that you would like to ask Andy. I have several, but this is not, I mean, it is my show, but this isn't the Shae show. So we're going to go over your tiers. So
Yes.
aside from the, obviously on Kickstarter, they always push the you can pledge without getting anything, and that's great, but we like stuff. So we're going to look at this.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so you have your $10 tier, which is your digital tier, and what comes with that?
You will get a digital copy of Osaka Mime, the full pages, all the story. I'm not sure how to send it out. It will be on some digital apps, so maybe you can get it sent there. But I think you're just gonna get it like a PDF copy, kind of sent to you, and then you get a wallpaper, which is just a digital version of the cover. So I don't know, you can make that your phone wallpaper or your background on your computer if you like it.
Scare every person that ever looks at your phone when you're not around.
Yeah, it's a good way to stop people from stealing your phone.
I mean, hold on, is it this cover?
Yeah.
Is it that?
Yeah.
Yeah, if I saw that on someone's phone, I don't think I'm gonna go near them. Like
Yeah.
even if I was like, I still want that phone, I'd be like, somebody that puts that on their phone might actually cut me, so I don't end up gonna fuck with them because this is just messed up. Okay, so and that's actually that's why I wanted you to talk about it specifically instead of me just saying obviously get the digital, because usually when you're talking a digital tier, even if it's it's $10, like $10 is not a lot to begin with, and you rarely get a digital tier plus a wallpaper. Normally, it's just a digital copy of the book. So the fact that you're doing both, that's really cool. And I wanted to make sure we kind of highlighted that because that's unique from what I've seen. We've gone over a lot of different indie campaigns and things like that. And normally it's just a digital PDF. So being able to say it's PDF plus a wallpaper, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. No, the guys in the publishers they're good at running these campaigns, so they know kind of. They've gotten feedback before on maybe digital just felt like not enough for someone, so throw in the wallpaper as well. Wallpaper's already made, it's already been paid for, so we might as well just give it out to people.
And you might as well capitalize on the money that you already spent.
Yeah.
So if you want to double how much you're going to spend at the $20 tier, what do we get there?
You get the digital copy, you get the wallpaper, and then you will get a physical copy of Osaka Mime, which I believe they're shipping via backer it there. It's some sort of company that will ship them out for you. So if you know, if you, yeah, if you feel you'd rather just get it sent straight to your door than wait for it to be put in a store, then the $20 is probably the best way for you to get your physical copy of it.
That is super cool. And how many pages is the book?
There is 71 pages of story, and then there'll be kind of some added pages, kind of extra info on the project, on the creators, maybe some failed concepts that didn't get in.
Nice.
There's not a lot because Hugo doesn't really save a lot of stuff. If he does something bad, he kind of just scribbles it out and goes again. But there could be some stuff. There'll be some stuff in it. It'll have a good enough size on it. It's enough for a spine on the story, on the book.
Very good. Okay, so for $20, you get over 70 pages of content. That's a good deal. What is maybe a better deal, and I'm really trying not to super spurg out over this, is for an extra $15, you get a t-shirt, guys.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, guess what? It's happening.
That's cheaper than most stores, A lot of stores don't sell t-shirts for $15. So.
No, Like this one that I got just for this stream so I can make it bloody, because who doesn't love a nice, good, bloody shirt? It was $5, but it was on clearance, and there was like one. So $15, that's amazing. That's a really good deal. And so that's the only difference with this one from the other physical copy, is that you
just get the t-shirt.
Okay, so I'm gonna go back down and stare at the t-shirts again because they're really cool. So do you get your pick?
I believe so. From the few projects that I've backed through Kickstarter, they usually send you like a survey where you give your details and then you choose stuff. So I imagine you'll get a pick of the t-shirts. So if you want the mime on it, then the one that the guy's wearing there, or if you just like the logo, then the one that the woman's wearing.
You know what I wish? This is just me being greedy. I want this with that on the back.
Yeah, maybe we'll do another run. We might do another run of merch at some stage. I wouldn't mind some hoodies myself.
Right? Oh my gosh, that on a hoodie would be terrifyingly awesome. Or the when the girl turns.
Yeah.
She's got, because sorry, I'm just gonna hop around all over the damn place because it's my phone. Do whatever the hell I want. This right here. So after seeing that blood splatter, because you gotta pay attention with this because it's very subtle. There's some very subtle things that are happening. So pay attention when you read this book. Don't do it half-assed. But because you see the blade, then you see the blood, and then you see this, and I love the smirk on her face because it's just pure evil.
Yeah, a lot of confidence.
She's not right. I don't like her. I want her on a hoodie.
But you don't like her.
I don't like her. She's terrifying, but I want her on a hoodie. Okay. So you actually have two $35 tiers. So what is with your second $35 tier?
Yeah, so this was something that the publisher actually came up with. It's a soundtrack. So you get like a cassette tape that has like, I think it's 10 or maybe 12 like curated synthwave songs that would, suit the project. So if you were like reading, you could read the project and put these songs on in the background. They would somewhat suit it. So yeah, it's a pretty cool one. I don't know who has cassette tapes anymore, but I think it's more of a retro kind of collector's item than a actual useful thing.
Look, we had Rockabilly Road Trip on, and they have vinyl. So I mean,
yeah,
let's be real. You could just whatever the hell you feel like anymore, because somewhere you can find a cassette tape player, I'm sure.
Absolutely. Maybe have an old 90s car.
Right. Well, and I mean, you're in Ireland, correct?
Yes.
Okay. I was stationed in England. I know for a fact you guys have a lot of shit from like the 80s and 90s in your freaking your antique stores.
We have a lot of antique stores.
So this is my favorite part. Okay, so just a little sidetrack for a second. Antique stores in the States, right?
Yeah.
Typically speaking, if you go to an antique store in the States, it's because it's something that is very expensive, very old, and valuable. I learned that is not necessarily the case when you hit like the UK and Ireland.
Just needs to be old. Just needs to be old.
It just needs to be. It just needs to be shit that people don't need anymore. Like,
Pretty much.
and it doesn't even have to be. It doesn't have to be useful. It doesn't even have to be that damn old. It can be like, oh, it's like 10 years old. You're like,
Yeah.
it says antique though. Like,
It's pretty much just like a junkyard sale. Really. Yeah.
It is. It's like when we have swap meets, guys. If you're ever overseas and you want to go to like a swap meet type thing and you don't know where to go, just go to the nearest antique store, because I promise you it's going to be very similar, but they do have gems. I believe when I was stationed in England is when we found our Razorback bayonet, banned by the Geneva Convention because it was deemed too brutal. And that thing is badass. And the woman didn't know what she had really, and we were like, how much would it be? And she's like, 10 quid. And I was like, oh my gosh, take my money. It was like, this is like a very expensive bayonet. Yeah. Here you go, $10. 10 quid, I'm sorry, so $15. But yeah, anyway, sorry. I guarantee you can find a cassette player. But that's actually really cool. And I like that your publisher was like synthwave.
He was just like, let's throw it in. I was like, I would have went with City Pop, but that's probably a little bit too happy go lucky for the kind of for the project.
See, this is why you have a publisher.
Yeah.
Wow, pop. I can't.
City Pop, all the 80s Japanese pop. It's very fun.
You're talking like bubblegum pop. No.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
No, that's such a... That'd be a you know what? Actually, that would be hilariously fucked up. You're sitting here reading about like these people getting like murdered and killed, and then seeing all this
like really
shit.
wholesome music.
You got like 12-year-old girls singing in the background. Just like, they sound really happy. It must be okay. All right, so that's a really cool little add-on. Okay, so for $50, what we getting for 50?
You just get the two 35 tiers put together. So you get the digital, you get the wallpaper, you get the physical, then you get a T-shirt and the cassette tape.
Ooh, all sorts of fancy. So that's actually that's not a bad deal at all. And then at $150,
you become a character. So you get everything that's already been said, and then you'll be drawn into a scene. You probably won't get any lines. You probably won't do much, but you'll be there. You'll be in the comic. It's going to be weird.
Be like, that was me.
It's going to be kind of weird because it's based in Japan, and I imagine it's going to be a lot of Western people that will take that pledge. So there's just going to be random, like Irish people just like standing in a crowd in Japan. But they could have been on holidays. Yeah, they're just trip.
They're on a trip. Yeah. So I do have a question about this specific tier. I noticed that you do not have a limit.
Yes.
That is dangerous.
That is dangerous, but I think I'm just well, look, if people want to pay, if 50 people want to pay $150, I'll find a way to get them in. There is a few.
Into a mass death scene.
Yeah. There's
like
a few.
Concert.
There's a few crowd scenes, so there's a few places that can pop up.
Oh, that's funny. All right. So that, you know what, I gotta say, this is actually a little bit refreshing. This is probably the first time in quite a while that I've gone over a campaign, and it's been a very manageable amount of tiers. You got what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 tiers. That is
of the donation amount that people would usually want to give.
I mean, that is a really reasonable amount of tiers. It makes it so you don't get overwhelmed as a backer, because what, like, it comes down to, well, what do you want? And like, there's some people that have 15 tiers, and I'm like, oh, but I kind of wanted that, but but then I can get this, and oh damn, which one do I go with? Oh no, I'm touching my shirt and I got blood everywhere. Oh, Joe, you're late to the party. Not Joe Flago, good friend of the Red Valkyrie show, wants to know what happened to my face. I unfortunately came across a mime. That's what happened. So this, essentially, this kind of thing happened to me today. Unfortunately, Joe. Don't worry, I'll be fine by next stream. Well, damn, because you're so streamlined, we're already covered through your stuff and onto questions.
Yeah, it went pretty quick,
It
but
did.
I
It
guess
doesn't normally go that quick. This
that's the
is
advantage of having a publisher run your campaign for you. They kind of just streamline everything.
just make
They,
your life easier. You're like, well,
yeah, pretty much.
that works. So before I open it up to questions from the audience, and audience, please, if you are paying attention, you should have some questions about this because this is definitely a super fucked up book, and I'm really excited about it. Do you have any little tidbits or anything about the project that you want to kind of highlight right now?
Um, Not a lot at the moment. The art is still with Hugo, so I haven't really received any of it back. But yeah, there's going to be some, some kind of different kind of scenes. It's not all going to be action. There's going to be some back and forth between the characters. I think are pretty well, and the characters have been set up kind of generic in the first 8 pages for that kind of reason. I want to bring them in a direction that you don't see coming with the characters, with especially Naito, who is the stereotypical good guy, kind of doesn't irons his shirts and just kind of has to play by the rules, but he's gonna learn underneath the old guard and kind of change as the project goes.
Very cool. Okay, so I can think of a few questions that I have for you, and I'm just gonna leave it on this because I really like this image, despite the fact that it's super fucked up. Do you already have stretch goals?
No, we actually don't. I believe the only possible stretch goal at the moment is a colored version of the project from what the publishers have been saying. But
Okay.
I don't know if there'll be too many others. It'll probably just all go into the marketing behind the project, unless there's a massive surge in the next 6 days. Then yeah, something will probably be done. But as it's up to the publisher. But color is probably the most doable stretch goal.
Okay, so no prints or posters or anything like that in the future for
Not the,
this campaign.
not for this campaign, but yeah, as the project comes out, and maybe if there's more backing behind it, there will be kind of like posters and more merch kind of ideas.
Okay. Oh, I love that that's a cassette tape. That's awesome. All right. So I'm just going to bring that down for a little bit. And so we've already talked about how you have a publisher that is helping you, and they're helping you with fulfillment and everything because they're going through backer kick, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So because you're on Kickstarter, there is no extending this campaign. So you have 6 days left to go. That's it. 6 days,
That's
and then
it.
this is
Yeah.
closed.
Whenever we get into 6 days is what will be used.
All right. Luckily for anyone who might be afraid that this isn't going to come to fruition, you guys had a goal of 2,500. You are at 3,268.
Yes.
So thank goodness this is definitely coming out. This is paid for and funded.
Unless this coronavirus destroys the entire world, this project will be out in hopefully October.
I'm gonna hope the coronavirus doesn't. I don't want to end up like
yeah.
What's her name, Mama Juno or whatever?
Yeah, Mama Jamu.
I'm not trying to end up like her. Damn, because she just that was rough. And you've had 113 backers so far, which isn't bad, especially considering I don't think a lot of people know that this is out there. And like I was saying before, I know a lot of people are not going to back something on Kickstarter for their own reasons. And so you probably are missing a good, a somewhat sizable chunk of people just because of a lot of people not knowing that it's out there, and being on Kickstarter might have hindered you just a little bit. So
yeah, it's been kind of just word of mouth stuff, and kind of I've a lot of help from friends. I have a lot of kind of creative friends that were happily able to share it around. But definitely that was one of the challenges is actually getting it out there and sharing it around.
Right, absolutely. Well, and that's, every now and then we get something that kind of comes through. We usually get our stuff from Tompa off of Twitter, and he's phenomenal. He finds so many great campaigns that kind of fly under the radar, and yours was one of them because so many other campaigns have launched, and like I said, we being on Kickstarter might have hindered some people kind of looking at you seriously, but Red Valkyrie likes to go where the indie creators are. Yeah. And as long as you take care of your customers and you got a good product, like I'm down. This looks amazing. And so you have until next Saturday at 12:59 in the morning. So there's not a lot of time. In order for you to get this, you are not sure if you're going to go to Indiegogo. So if you don't mind backing one or the other, don't wait, because this may never come to Indiegogo, unfortunately, for some people.
Yeah, if it isn't, if going on through Kickstarter isn't the way, then when pre-orders are available, to be available through the Behemoth Comics website anyway, if you want the project. So it's not like if you have to back it to get the project. Like it'll be on the website to buy, and there's a 1,000 physical copy run being done by Diamond Distributors. So if you live near a big enough comic store, it'll be a few copies in there, I would say.
Awesome. Okay, so there are still opportunities, even if you're not down with Kickstarter. There's still ways for you to get your hands on this super gorgeous horror gory, like terrifying book, which is good to hear. That's always a plus, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Making sure that you can get the product to your customers in various ways. All right, so we do have a couple of questions, and yes, I'm going to take all of these questions as if they're actual serious questions.
That's fair.
Froggy wants to know if you're wearing pants.
I am wearing pants at the moment. Yeah, I'm wearing a pair of tracksuit bottoms, so I'm not wearing the most flashy pants, but I'm wearing pants.
There you go. And he also wants you to know that taking off your shirt might help you get some more backs.
Yeah, possibly. I don't know. I think
you'd have to not be an icon for that.
Yeah, I had a rough enough Christmas.
Right now.
I had a rough enough Christmas, so a bit bigger than I'd like to be.
Oh my goodness, that's funny. Okay, and then we have Steve. This is my buddy that I clean with part time, and he's a total asshole, and we love him anyway. He wants to know what your preferred drink is.
I prefer a Jameson whiskey, but I do enjoy beer as well. Mostly probably Heineken or Guinness, but I will only drink Guinness in Ireland because people can't pull pints of Guinness outside of Ireland usually. So if I'm outside of the country, I'll just have a bottle of Heineken or a Jameson.
Oh, that's fair. And then he wants to know, are you going to have a limited run beer that matches your story to go with the synthwave cassette tape?
Maybe. I don't know. My roommate creates beer. I think he's one of those craft beer guys. So
it's a possibility. It's a possibility.
It's there. Let's not put it to bed yet.
Oh my gosh. I thought that was going to be a joke one, but that actually might happen. Good question, Steve. Thanks. And Froggy also wants to know, does your Kickstarter campaign have an exclusive cover that is not going to be available after?
Not at the moment. At the moment, the only cover that will be used is the one that was shown in the Kickstarter with the lady with the fingers the opposite way around. With all of her joints going the wrong ways. Yeah, pretty much.
This one.
Yeah, that is the cover. That is the cover as of now. If things change, I'll be sure to let people know.
All right. Good heavens. Hold on. Just one more time. It's just so wrong. Like everything is so wrong about it, and I love it because it's so subtle. So you're artist. How did you find your artist? How did you?
I found him on Facebook. So I found him on a comic book creators Facebook group, and I just said, if you're interested in this project, email me. A lot of people messaged me through Facebook, which was kind of annoying because I said to email me, but he was one of the guys, and it was between him and about 3 other guys, but there was just, he hadn't a lot of work out there. Like, he only had his blog with some posts, but what he had was amazing. So I just went with him, and his rates were fair. So I said, we'll see what happens.
I'm gonna be honest. I think you went with a good choice. He definitely.
Yeah, he's a really nice guy as well, which is always a plus.
That makes it good. Wait, is he on Twitter?
He actually isn't, but he's on Instagram at Bruxium, Bruxium. He posts like pictures of witches. He just draws witches sometimes.
Okay.
Seems to be like his thing.
I will try to get, after this is done, I'll get that from you for his Instagram, and then we'll post it back in the channel description. So if you're interested in keeping up on this artist and his really interesting, cool kind of style and stuff, you guys can still find him. All right, and then your letter of Rob Jones. Is he on Kickstarter, or not Kickstarter? Is he on Twitter?
He's on Twitter as, I
Okay.
believe, Rob Jones Writes. I'll just find it now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
Rob Jones Writes. He's a great letterer. He also does write as well. Yeah, he's a good guy. I found him on the same group pretty much.
No,
But
goodness, that's awesome.
yeah, lettering's a hell of a art skill. I'm terrible at it, so to get someone that had his abilities was very nice.
Yeah, I'm an amateur letterer and a flatter, so I totally agree. Kerning is a thing that a lot of people do not understand. Steve wants to say that you're a liar because he's a jerk. Apparently,
I will. I'll
Baltimore.
have to go to Baltimore and find it out for myself.
Yeah, you come hang out with us. You come down to Baltimore, and I'll have Steve buy you a beer.
That seems fair. I'm always open to beer being bought for me.
You're welcome, Steve. I like spending your money for you. Oh my goodness. Yeah, dude, this is a really cool project. I really want you to get more eyes on this for sure, because it's such an interesting kind of concept, and it's not that it's necessarily new or groundbreaking. This is something that a lot of anime have done, and a lot of various other forms of storytelling have done a very, very similar kind of storyline. However, that does not mean that there is not room for more.
Yeah. I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel, but trying to put a good wheel out there.
Absolutely. Well, and you've done really good with your logo. Like, your logo is very...
Yeah, that was my friend who made that for me. Primal
nice.
Mystery. He's a great graphic designer. So if you're ever looking for logos to be made, he does all types of stuff. He makes like t-shirts for wrestlers. He does like logos for wrestling companies as well. He actually made a wrestling belt for a company. Like, he designed a belt that would be made for them. So I always use him for any... I've used him for projects that I didn't even bring out. Like, I usually, first thing I do is get a logo off him.
That is super cool. So I'm going to get all these people's contact info, and I'm going to put all of that in the channel description, because there are plenty of people who are looking for graphic design, letterers, new artists, people that they otherwise may never see. And the best way to do that is look at someone else's project that's being fulfilled, or that preferably that has fulfilled, so you know that they actually have the chops to get all the way through it.
Absolutely.
But yeah, that is super awesome. Especially because I know that the graphic design, like, coming up with something that is iconic enough as this is, like, you're never going to see that anywhere else and mistake it for any other thing. It is your thing.
Yeah, it blew my mind when he brought it to me. Like, he absolutely blew me away, because he had a few concepts, and I think he ended up mashing a few of them together. That's ones that I liked, and just creating that, and it was absolutely mind blowing at the time.
Yeah, no, this is perfect. It's simple enough, it's recognizable enough, just like how you put it down on these t-shirts, and they definitely pop. Like, you can read, you know what I mean? Like, clarity is really difficult when people are trying to do logos. Some people just get way too crazy with it. It's very clear and clean what it says, but it has so much character, and it's so creepy. Like, it tells you that whatever you're about to open up with this book, there's some fucked up shit inside. And that is a really hard thing to find for a lot of other people. So the fact that you have a guy who is generally, to this indie comic crowd that I know of, unheard of.
Yeah.
Like, let's get him some work too. Shit. Let's just get everybody work.
He's just a friend. I just got lucky to be kind of friends with some pretty creative people. So
that's awesome. That is
hopefully I can get him more work, because he deserves a lot more work for what he does.
Hell yeah. You know what? We're going to blast him out there. We're going to see if we can't help him out, because that's probably one of the better logos I think I've seen for somebody's project. It's phenomenal.
Thank you.
Any other questions from the chat? You kind of got your last call here. Is there anything else, Andy, that you wanted to kind of pitch or say or anything about your project?
No, not at the moment. Just, if you like horror and if you like fantasy, and it's if you like anime as well, because it's very anime inspired.
It definitely looked like a manga.
This would be a project for you. It's pretty violent, but not like stupidly violent where it makes no sense. It has its violent moments. It has its quiet moments. The characters, I feel, have personalities. They're not just there to be part of the violence. So if you're looking forward to that, you can donate to it for the next 6 days, and if you miss out on the donations, it'll be out in most likely October. So you can pre-order it whenever you like, whenever it's on Behemoth's website.
That is phenomenal. And I don't know if you noticed this, but I won. So you come to Baltimore, Steve will buy you at least a beer.
Hey, that's fair.
I don't think it'll be enough though. I don't
mind paying for the flights for one free beer.
Absolutely, dude. That's awesome. All right. Well, I feel like it was a pretty streamlined campaign, so it was a pretty quick show, relatively speaking, for us. So I think that it's probably a good point to wrap it up. Make sure that you go and check out Osaka Mime. Link is in the channel description. It is also in the chat, so you have no excuse to not know where to go. And it's funding on Kickstarter for another 6 days. So make sure that if you're interested in this, that you go and get it then. If you missed out on it, let us know. We can definitely get you in contact with Andy and get you to, when it does finally come out, get you to the publisher's website so you can still get yourself a copy, and so you hopefully don't miss out on everything. Oh, we have a last minute question from Joe Frago. Thank you so much, Joe. Have you seen the Deathsworn comic?
I have not. I'll keep my eyes out for that. It's got a cool name at least. So that plays a part always.
So I know why he's asking. Do you know who Carlo Rowe is?
No.
Carlo Rowe is another fellow Irishman, and he has created Deathsworn, and it is another badass looking comic. And we've got a couple of CG groups, the Comicsgate groups, that have kind of formed up together to try and help support each other and promote each other's stuff. So we have CG UK that just recently kicked off. There's CG Japan. I feel like you guys need to start a CG Ireland at this point, because there's at least 2 of you. So we'll have to get you in touch with Carl for sure. But yeah, his book Deathsworn looks amazing.
Yeah, I'll have to check it out. I'll have to look. I'm always interested in Irish creators.
Hell yeah, right? You gotta help promote each other. Why not? All right. So for everybody, thank you guys so much for coming by. We appreciate every single one of you. I love having you guys in the chat and the comments. Make sure that you like, share, and subscribe to Red Valkyrie. Thank you again, Froggy. So Carlo Rowe has the record for the highest crowdfunding comic at the ripe old age of 22.
Fair play to him.
For all of Ireland. So
that is something to be proud of for sure.
Right, absolutely. So I'm definitely we'll hook you guys up. Don't you worry. He's on Twitter too. But yeah, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to check us out again this afternoon. We are going to be going over Monster MD with my buddy Von Klaus. And Heidi is definitely making another appearance. So if you are interested in that, come stop by and say hey. And yeah, catch you guys next time. Thank you so much, Andy, for coming out. Thank you, everyone in the chat. You guys are amazing. Don't forget to go back Osaka Mime. And we'll catch you next time.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
Bye.